Hello everyone, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Michael and today we're going to be making pimento cheese and I've got another surprise inside of it. Stick with me and I'll show you what it is. Let's get started making our pimento cheese, and the star of the show today is going to be the cheese and the pimento. So we're going to start with the cheese, and I've got a block of cheese here. This is sharp cheddar cheese, and you can use the yellow or the white, whatever you like. If you don't like it sharp, you can definitely use the mild or the medium, whatever you like there. If you want to make a combination of different cheeses, you definitely can do that. You want something that you can be able to grate and it's going to be able to hold moisture and things with it. There's a lot of cheeses out there on the market that are really dry and they might not be able to accommodate this type of cheese. So definitely cheddar cheese is what I use for my pimento cheese. The one thing that you don't want to use is you don't want to use the bag cheese. The bag cheese has a element in it that they put in it so that it doesn't stick together, and I don't use that in my pimento cheese. I want to take the chance of it when I put my wet ingredients in it, that it's not going to hold together, or it could separate later on as you put it in the refrigerator as you're waiting for your party, or if you're going to take it somewhere for a luncheon or something. So definitely, if you've got it, use the block cheese and the box grater, and we're going to grate that out. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to grate 8 ounces of this cheese. So I will be back when I get this grated. I've got my cheese grated, and I did use the bigger holes on the box grater here. You can use the smaller ones if you want to, or you can do a variation of both. I just used the bigger grates on this box grater here. So definitely, like I said earlier, you want to grate your own if you have it to do it. So I'm going to set that aside. So now let's work on our pimentos. So I've got a jar of diced pimentos here. This is 4 ounces, and I'm going to strain this off. So I'm going to be using half of this today. So I'm going to be using 2 ounces of it. So I'm just going to strain this off, and then I'm going to take half of this little bottle here, and we're going to use that in our pimento cheese. You can definitely use more or less. If you've bought it in the store before and you know what it looks like, you can definitely add more or less to it. But I'm going to let this strain because I don't want the juice in that in my pimento cheese. So I'm going to let that set to the side. And then I've got some optional ingredients here. These are pickled jalapenos. This is definitely something, if you don't want to put that in there, there's about, I don't know, about 6 or 7 of these in there. And I'm just going to give these a fine chop. If you don't want the heat of the jalapenos, you don't have to put those in there. If you don't have the pickled jalapenos, you can definitely use like a cayenne pepper if you want to add just a little bit of heat to it. But let's just give these a rough little chop. All right, now that I've got my jalapenos chopped up, I'm going to go ahead and put those back in this little container here. And then I'm going to talk about the other ingredients. I've got 4 ounces of cream cheese. One of those normal little boxes is 8 ounces. This is half of one of those. And I've got that here sitting at room temperature. I'm probably going to put it in the microwave for maybe about 5 or 6 seconds, just to kind of soften it up a little bit more. I'm going to take a look at it here as I get ready to start mixing everything together. Then I've got a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. This is Duke's mayonnaise. This is what I use. If I'm not making my own, I buy the Duke's. I think that's got the best flavor to it. And then I've got a 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. And again, I've got my jalapenos. These are optional. So let's get started putting our ingredients together now. So let's put our cream cheese in our bowl. I'm going to take a look at that. See, that looks pretty good. That's softened up nicely. And then I'm going to take my mayonnaise that I've got here, and we're going to put that in next. Mayonnaise, if you don't have the cream cheese, you can definitely use all mayonnaise. I like the taste the cream cheese adds to it. Just gives it just a little bit extra to it. And then we'll take our Worcestershire sauce and we'll put that in. And then we're going to take our jalapenos and we'll add those in. So you can, like I say, just put these in just a little bit to taste. I'm going to put just a few of those in there, and we'll take a look at it as I get it mixing together, and we'll see where that's at. And then we're going to take our pimentos, and I'm going to take half of that, and we'll put that in there and see where we're at with that. And then we're just going to take a spatula and just kind of give that a little mix through. All right, I can help by looking at that I'm going to put just a few more of my pimentos in. And at the end, I'll give it a taste test to see if I want to put any more of my jalapenos in it. All right, that looks good where that is now, and we're going to add our cheese into it. Let's go ahead and add our cheese in next. And with this, I'm going to switch to the bigger spatula, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to pulverize the cheese. I want to keep it in the nice consistency that it is with the big shreds in it. So I'm going to give that a mix through, toss that around. And at this point too, depending on what type of cheese you have, you might have to add a little bit more mayonnaise if it's a little too dry, or you can add some more of your cream cheese. So I'm going to give this a mix through and see where I'm going to be at with this. All right, I'm back and I've got my pimento cheese mixed together. I did not put anything else into it. This is the ingredients that I had earlier, so it did come together very nicely. At this point, you want to test it to see if you want to put any salt and pepper in it. I typically don't put any more salt in it, only because the Philadelphia cream cheese and the regular cheese and even the pimentos might have a little bit of salt in it. So definitely taste it now to see if you need to do anything. So I've got me a clean spoon here, and let's give this a try to see if I need to put any salt or pepper in it. That is really good. This could not be any easier to make. With just a few ingredients, you can make this pimento cheese, and you can control what's in it. If you buy it in the store, you really don't have any control over it. And if you like a little bit of heat to it, or if you like more mayonnaise to it, you can definitely do that. So you can put this in an airtight container, store it in the refrigerator, and actually after it sits overnight, it actually develops a better flavor the next day. So if it's still any left over after you make it today and you've got some tomorrow, definitely try it for that. But you can put it on some crackers if you've got celery, carrots, you make a sandwich out of it, whatever you want to do. So I hope this has inspired you to try pimento cheese. It is so delicious, and you've got control over what goes in it. And if you like it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. And maybe you might find something else in maybe one of these other two videos over here that you like, and try one of those. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Try this pimento cheese. I know you're going to love it. Bye-bye now.